So we're now going to get into Movavi basic editing, some texting, and then we're going to remove silence from Reaper, and I'll show you where I got those sources from. What editor you want to use is up to you. Looking around, I came across Movavi. I tried up the trial and I thought, well, I'll buy it. I think it was discounted to like 45 bucks. And it's simple, and that's what I want to stress. The more you complicate things, the harder it is for that system to be maintained. Don't make things too difficult on yourself. You do want a good presentation. You do want to learn to add in text and stuff. But you're also talking about putting a lot more time in, and you really got to look at your life and decide, where do I have time to do a YouTube channel, and what do I have to give up to have that channel? And Movavi works really good. The only thing, it does have some weird quirks, like if I put in another video here and I don't have that, I don't know, it's like a minus sign in parentheses. If I don't have that, when I go to splice this top video, it'll slice the other one as well, which is not what I would want. I usually put in another video to insert, I forgot this part in this or this part in that. This arrow right here, if you cross that one out, you can move your videos around, and then when you put it back to normal, it all links together. Deleting a bunch of these things, usually you can go to the end and highlight it. But I hold down Control, unless I'm holding down the wrong key. Watch, it works for me. But I go to click and it won't quite. There it goes. It's like you gotta hit it just right. And I have a reason for deleting all of these here, because this is the guinea pig that I want to bring up. You're going to do a lot of editing, and you're also going to do editing out silence in your videos. Try to leave at least a little bit of a space when you do that. Otherwise, it can be too much of a cut on the audio. If you find that you did too much of a cut between two pieces, you hit that arrow, bring that on back, and then just expand this out a little bit, either that side or this one on this side. And that usually will take care of it. And let's delete that. Up here you got plus and minus. That's your expanding your videos. Sometimes your audio looks low, but it looks right. Watch your meters. If you can get to minus 15, that's really good. But as you can see in this, there's spaces, and that's what you have to edit out. Now, Movavi, it is a long process. You go there, you hit Control B, and you come here, you hit Control B, and you go here, Control B, go here, Control B, and then you would delete that one, highlight that one, and you gotta make sure the rest of them aren't selected or they all get deleted. Okay, in my search for video editing, I took a look at Reaper. I don't know what made me decide, but I knew that Reaper did do video editing. This here is Reaper Mania. It was the first one I watched, and it shows you how to do like a 30-second commercial using Reaper, and it's pretty good. But it wasn't exactly 100% what I was looking for, but I wish to thank Kenny at Reaper Mania for doing this video, because it did help. The other one is Vulture Culture, and this is the one that really clicked for me, because he shows how to do dynamic split and ripple editing in Reaper with video. To get this going, though, you do need VLC, and it's because VLC has a lot of codecs, and you'll need the codecs from it. And then the other one you might not need if you're on Windows 10 and up. This would be more for Windows 7 and 8.1. You need to get FFmpeg for Reaper. And here's the link for downloading it from GitHub. And then the instructions and where you need to put it in Reaper is right there. But since Reaper 6.57 includes support for Windows Media Foundation for video encoding decoding, which is built into 10 and 11. WMF allows for H.264 rendering, and depending on the use, you may not need to install FFmpeg anymore. So if it doesn't work with Windows 10 11 for you, then you can go and do this. And it's pretty simple and basic. Now, after you unzip the FFmpeg file that you downloaded, you go to Options and you go to Show Reaper Resource Path in Explorer Finder. And then you go down to User Plugins, and that's where you put those files in right there. I'm going to play this video to show view. You got to go to View and go to Video, and there we are there. Now, for myself, I have this Mackie Pro FX12. That's what I'm using for audio, but I'm doing audio production, and I wanted something a little more, and as you can see, I picked this because there's silence in it, and it's a good way to illustrate things. I can close that up there. The first thing we need to do is what's called Ripple Edit. I have actually toggled there, but I also have it on this toolbar above the bus 01. So that's the file not selected. This is the file selected. You hit Ripple Editing, so that's in effect. Then you go and you do Dynamic Split. Now you can go in the action list and find it too. And I have toggle ripple editing per track. I just do it per track. I don't do all tracks. Split right here, dynamic split items, and I have it up on the toolbar. Now this is my setting. It's what works for me. As you can see, it's selected all the audio and all the silence is darkened. So this is where you just have to play with it. Now, see, I'm at 325 there. If I move that, it'll do some changes. And so you just get it to where it's, let's see, 325. This is 635. Now the first one's minimum slice length. This is minimum silence length. And so I can really chop up the video big time, but I'm not going to do that. It's like somewhere around there. I think it was 632, but you got your threshold at negative 39.6. Now this setting is just for me. Cultue had his a little bit different. I think he had his at negative 16.9 dB, but it wouldn't work for me. So you got to play around with it. But you're going to like this in the end. This is going to be really good. This is, I don't know, it looks like how it grabs the file. But I had it at, negative 15, I think. I'll do it there. That'll be good. I do have it saved, or at least one setting I came up with saved as a remover silence from YouTube video. Always save your presets on this once you get it set up. You just want when gate opens and when gate close checked. Display gate threshold media item checked. Split selected items. Set new item time base to beats selected. Remove silent areas require splitting on gate close. The leading pad is 50 milliseconds. The trailing pad is 200 milliseconds. And then when we split, it should split it all and put it all together because of ripple editing. And you don't have to do any kind of editing. You're done. I mean, this is as fast as Filmora 11. Now, if we go to our video display here, now for my, now I don't care for that first part there, so we'll exit that out. And ripple editing moves everything on over, which is really sweet. Now, for myself, I have this Mackie Pro FX12. That's what I'm using for audio, but I'm doing audio production, and I wanted something a little more, and I've been using a USB Sapphire 6. So there it is there. It's simple, it's easy, it's quick, and it will make your life so much better. Reaper costs $60. I don't know how the demo lasts. I think it's 60 days. Some people have been using it past this 60 days. In the past, the demo of Reaper didn't have any time limit, but I think it does now. But this is cool. This works really cool. And it can handle the big files. You just have to adjust the dynamic split to just so that you get it fine-tuned on the silence. But just make sure you got Ripple edited turn on, and you're set to go. So that looks pretty good. Now we're going to go and render it. So you go to File, Render. Now for video you want 48K. That's just, it's what you call DVD quality video. Down here for wave, which is what you use for audio production, you go down, you don't want the MPEG-4. Now you might want that if you're on 10 or 11, but since I'm on 7 and 8.1, you want the video FF MPEG encoder. For AAC, I recommend 320. It's a better quality audio there. I leave the video alone. I've done this before on 2 other trials. The first trial was an absolute failure. My fault. I had this muted. In fact, I could take those 2 off, and that's for sure. I know it'll work. So I'm going to call this number 3. Number 2 did work, and it worked this way. And so we are going to render. I'm going to close out the video thing, and we're just going to rock and roll. So in Movavi, this is what it looks like. I brought in the video from Reaper. Now for myself, I have this Mackie Pro FX12. That's what I'm using for audio, but I'm doing audio production, and I wanted something a little more, and I've been using a USB Sapphire 6. Now, if you have audio problems, you want to first highlight that section with the audio problems, probably up to there. Okay, you don't want everything highlight except the one that you want to take care of. Right here, it's like a 3-stripe thing. It's clip properties. And then here you got volume, so you can bring your volume on up. The only problem is you have to listen to previous. Remember how much I paid for this? It doesn't really say the price, does it? Okay, that wasn't very loud. And sometimes you might have to go up quite a bit. How much I paid for this? It doesn't really say the price, does it? Okay, that's a little too much distinct. How much I paid for this? It doesn't really say the price, does it? That's kind of weird. Okay, if you find that your video is going a little slow on your video, you can come up here to speed. You want to make sure that you click on original tone. You do not want to go past 102%. You're just going up 2% a little more, and that way it speeds things up. Now for myself, I have this Mackie Pro FX12. That's what I'm using for audio. It really depends, but I find that past 102%, it starts going too fast. And I wanted something a little more, and I've been using a USB Sapphire 6. So 105 could work for this one. That's just so that your video will be more flowing faster for your audience. It will shrink down the time and the size of the file. I would like to add one other thing with Movavi is you need to go into settings, preferences. In general, like I have an automatic check for updates, so that's fine. I don't give consent to any software, including Microsoft Windows. I don't use software OpenGL implication, whatever. And then the notification sound, I don't do that either. For files, I got it all set up to where I want. It's actually just all goes to one folder. Effects, it's where my effects packs are. You might have to set that up, or maybe Movavi does it when you install it. You'll have to check out the preferences before you start using even the trial. But it should be user, your name, videos, Movavi Video Editor packages is where all your effects packs are supposed to go. I don't do sharing. Here, if you got a fast enough video card, you can do hardware acceleration using your video card. My video card only has 2 gigabytes of RAM. But if you have a video card that has 16 gigabytes of RAM, then you would check whatever's highlighted here. For me, it's NVIDIA. And the optimized HD clip, I find that slows everything down. It stores temporary files in a certain directory. It doesn't work. It really slows things down for me. My editing is so much faster with that thing unclicked. Now, when it comes to exporting, these are the settings that Movavi has. And for MP4 is what you're going to want. I got it on good. You can change things on the advance, which is the quality right here. It's on medium. You can go down to like to versus low, and then you can go like maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4. You could go 4 up if you need a smaller file size. It does put the sample rate at 44.1. So, and then it'll show it as custom. In case you have a slow upload on your internet, try to keep your video small. Okay, I'm going to show what I can of text. I don't know how well I'm going to do this, but we're going to give it a try. In Movavi, you got all these different texts. I think what would be a good one to try. This one here is my favorite. It should have a heart on it. You can also do text with line 2 if you need to. We can try this. You put it here in your text timeline. Come on, there we go. You can see the arrows on it where you can stretch it throughout the whole video or a portion of it. Double click on the title and it might be a little laggy. Here you can see title here, so I can do, I'll just do Movavi, and then I can choose the boldness, the size, and my favorite would be color. You got a lot of colors to choose from. I probably might want a bright yellow though. Yeah, that'd be good. You have motion, so it all depends on what motion you want. New preset, there's clips, there's text. Think you can do the line, and so there's the line, but it doesn't look like you can change the color of the line. Oh, there it is, color. There we go. Yes, you can. Green. I'll do some crazy stuff, and I might want to change the color of that to, it'll do. Probably increase the size of that a little bit more. Okay, it's really important to make sure that you click on your areas if you're going to do like, okay, I'm going to click on that text there. Now, under new preset, you can change this. Always put as 1 because you might design a different one, and then you can make that 2. I hit save. Now, if I go to my favorite, there it is there. Cling line I've used quite a bit, but I haven't used text in these videos because I feel that by putting in the time code, you can jump to the different ports you want. And actually, this stuff can all be, I can also do like that there. Now it is lagging a little bit. Okay, it's really important to make sure that you click on your areas if you're going to record yourself, do a test run, and it'll show on the bottom left the project length so you know how long it is. Now I wanted to show in Reaper before we move on how to do time code. Sometimes you might do a video and you want to put in time code for different things. For me, it'd be like equipment, OBS, Movavi, Reaper. And Reaper has a way to do it, but you gotta have the repack in. Go to manage repository and you have to make sure that you have the X-ray scripts in here. There's 2 of them. Usually with repack, you have to go to like a GitHub of the developer and copy like an internet link, and then you put it into the repack manager, and then it would download all the script. His comes with repack automatically. So you just need to go to repack and download repack. Because what we're going to do is this is just like a test thing. We're going to set up marker. I have M for marker, so I can just put a marker there, and marker there. And then you just think that each spot here is like a different scene or different information. So we'll do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's pretty good. You need to open your region manager. Let's see. I got a shortcut for it, but we'll go to view and then region marker manager. And then you're going to, let's see, intro, name each of these. Got intro, hello, new spot. I'm just doing some crazy names here. BBB. Okay. 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 And then this will be ending. So each of the markers has a name to it. Now you got to make sure that that's highlighted. If you see it clear like that, it's not highlighted. But when you click on it, it gets darker. That means it's highlighted. And then you go to Actions, Show Action List, and I have it as Script X-Ray. Export markers as YouTube timecode for video description. You run that, and it will pop up this window here. You can take that, copy that, and put that into a notepad or WordPad or whatever pad you want to use, and you can save it. Now, normally I would have a marker up here that would be, it would say 0000 and start. But now you can just copy this into your YouTube channel for the description for the video. When you do the video, you have your description, you put this in there, and if someone wants to just look at a certain portion of your video, they will be able to click on that because YouTube will have that highlighted. This is a great source to have. I just happened to find it by accident while I was working with the, removing the silence from the file. It is a great plus if you want to do sections and have people go to the sections on your video. Now in the next video, we're going to go and set up a YouTube account, just the basics so that you just know what you need to do, what settings to pay attention to, learning to use Canva for doing thumbnails, doing a banner. And so I'll see you in the next video.